Happy Monday, everyone. Welcome into Last Call here on WagerTalk. We got a great show for you today. The Prez is jumping in, Andy Lang is jumping in, and of course, we're talking Monday Night Football. We got the primetime game here between the Arizona Cardinals and the Dallas Cowboys, and we're going to see if the defense of the Dallas Cowboys can show up. We know yesterday we had the Pittsburgh Steelers defense do a big complete turnaround after a loss in the prior week. Can Dallas do the same here? Jacoby Brissett will be out for the Arizona Cardinals. So we're going to jump all into it. The Prez is going to join us right away. Open your odds logic page, you guys, so you can shop those lines. We are seeing a little bit of movement in those lines from the opening, of course, at 51.5, now up to 54 on Pinnacle, 53.5 on a lot of the other sites. And then that spread is sitting at 3 on a couple of books, actually. We've got a 3.5 at Sports 411, but 3 on the majority of the other ones. So you guys drop your questions in the live chat here. If you're watching on YouTube, make sure you hit that like, hit that subscribe button, and hit the notification bell so you do know when we go live over here. But seeing you guys popping in, get those questions in for the Prez. We're going to bring them in right away.
Well, hey, Joe, I love being here. Excited. Did not have a great Sunday. First real shitty Sunday of the year for me. And you know what? I mean, the people who bought my plays, I'm so sorry. But a slap upside the head to make me better in the future is acceptable.
It was a weird day out there, right?
Yeah.
Like that was so weird. But I know in the end zone, you guys were cashing with those live bets. How does that one finish up?
It's unbelievable. I hope you guys log on to the End Zone show. Every Sunday we do a live show, and I mean, Joe, like here were our bets yesterday, in-game bets. LA Chargers -4.5, that covered. Atlanta +11.5, that covered. Atlanta +10.5, that covered. Pittsburgh +9.5, a Jo Madden special, that covered. Sant ran under 54.5. That did not. That's 4-1. Packers over 33.5. Nope. 4-2. Houston +1.5. Nope. 4-3. Green Bay -5.5. 4-4. And then LA Chargers. We went. I'm not going to go through the whole list, but I think we went 7-4. On the day, and last week, the week before, it was 10-2. But it is an exhausting show, Joe. It's like talking for 4.5 hours is exhausting. I'd rather lift weights for 4.5 hours.
Well, no one does it better than you, Prez. You're so great at hosting that show. It's always a lot of fun. So you guys make sure you do go on over and check it out every Sunday there. The end zone, right?
The end zone live.
I went to say the red zone.
Well,
it feels like the red zone with how fast you guys are spitting those out, though.
It's not the red zone. I wish I owned the red zone. I'd still take time out of my day to do this with you guys. Really appreciate everybody logging in. Roger Long, I haven't seen your name in a long time. Wonderful to see your name. J-Dog, hope you're well, my friend. Really, really, Justin Thompson. It just every day I do a show, Joe, every day of my life. And every day when someone takes time to listen to it, it never gets old. I am so bloody appreciative.
Yeah, absolutely, Prez. And I love all the comments jumping in there too. You guys, thanks so much for joining us here for the primetime preview. So let's start talking this Monday Night Football game, Prez. We got the Arizona Cardinals, Jacoby Brissett, not Kyler Murray. There's been a couple debates if he's a better quarterback. What are your thoughts on Jacoby Brissett versus Kyler Murray?
Well, I mean, listen, they're both backup quarterbacks. I think Kyler Murray would be a world-class CFL quarterback. Like, I think he would be one of the best, legitimately. And I think he would have a shot at leading his team to the Grey Cup. I think he is just perfectly suited for the CFL. Jacoby Brissett is not suited for either league. With that said, in the NFL, I mean, does it matter between those two? Kyler Murray, you want to pull your hair out, and at least with Jacoby Brissett, you don't have to hope. You don't have those moments where you're like, oh, the future is so bright.
Mm-hmm. It's very true. John coming in with the Green Bay Packers let everyone down yesterday. Prez, I still can't believe what we saw out there with the Packers. That was a weird game.
Well, I mean, firstly, they did not let everyone down. On behalf of all people who are from Carolina and people who bet Carolina and people who didn't give a shit, they didn't let those people down. And I would go out on a limb and say that's about 99% of the people in the world. Yeah. So let's take that with a grain of salt. As well, we did see Green Bay lose to Cleveland already this year. So imagine if they win the Super Bowl and we look back and we're like, holy crap, what happened in those two games? And they could. I mean, this Green Bay team is a well-balanced football team. Offensively and defensively, it was a strange game. But the problem they have, and everyone needs to know this moving forward, is they simply can't stop the run. And with Micah Parsons coming in as that edge rusher, if you watched what Carolina did, they basically just shoved it down his throat. So -2.5 against Philadelphia. My early lean on that is Philly. Off of a bye, Super Bowl champs. That's going to be a fun game to watch. I doubt I'll bet it.
Absolutely will be a fun one. Okay, let's jump into tonight's game. I just wanted to give one more shout out, Justin Thompson coming in. He's new to betting, so no better place to be to learn than here on WagerTalk. So make sure you hit that notification button, Justin. But let's jump into this game. We got a spread sitting 3 or 3.5 out there for people like Justin. Prez, how important is it that you get a 3.5 if you're liking one side, or the 3 if you're liking the other?
You know, I mean, I'll tell you a quick story. I was in the gym. I live in the gym. Everybody knows I'm an old man with a lot of time on my hands, and the gym seems like a better place than the couch. Anyway, these kids came up to me, I think 18, 19. They know who I am. They know I'm a professional sports bettor. And they asked me, what is your favorite sports book? And my answer was, every sports book is my favorite sports book. How do you have a favorite sports book? So, I mean, I have 20 different outs. Thanks, J-Dog. I have 20 different outs. So, yeah, if you are betting Arizona and you don't get a 3.5, you deserve to lose your money. If you are betting Dallas and you don't get a 3, you deserve to lose your money. So, I don't know anything that is more important. And one of the things I was explaining to these kids, Joe, is for new guys like Justin and everybody who's sort of entering sports betting, if they say, what is the most important thing to learn at the beginning? It's how to bet, not what to bet. The what to bet, whether it's Dallas or Arizona tonight or Vegas or Denver on Thursday, that'll all work itself out in the long run if you know how to bet. And one of the hows is don't get bad lines. The greatest sports bettors of all time are lucky to hit 56, 57, 55%. Break even is 52.5. Yeah. There's a 3% difference between the greatest sports bettors of all time, 3-4% difference, and losing your money. So those half points, those -115s or -110s at the end of the year, they are literally going to be the difference between winning and losing money. Desmond Castro says he got the Cowboys right there, -176. There's 172s out there. Mm-hmm. So that is literally going to be, if you bet straight bets all the time, you don't bet with your emotion. You don't chase. If you know how to bet, everything else will work itself out.
So what are your thoughts here on the live total right now? Because we're coming into this one, it opened at 51.5. Pinnacle has a 54. Hard Rock has a 53.5. If you like this one to the over, is it still worth betting, Prez?
Yeah, I mean, you know, a lot of people talk about, oh, I didn't get the best number, right? Handicap the game at the number that is currently available. If you love the game at 51 and that is your handicap, you don't bet over 54. But if you want to handicap the game at 54, then decide whether you want to bet over or under. It's hard. I don't believe the game will get stuck between 51 and 54. I don't. But I'll tell you right now, Joe, I think the way to attack the total in this game is to take both team totals over rather than the game over. And I'm going to tell you why. Firstly, you can find over 23 and a half minus 145 for Arizona. That line is available. You can also find over 27 and a half minus 125 for Dallas. That line is out there and available. Now, I love that bet much better than taking the over on the game. Firstly, I'm greedy and might have a shot at 2-0. Secondly, I really feel like this game has a real chance of going over. What worries me is the fourth down plays. And both of these teams have shown us that they can march down to the goal line, have a fourth down and inches, and screw it up. And if they screw that up, we're talking about 8 minutes of clock before the next team is even in scoring range. So that's the problem with betting a total this high, is that one interception in the end zone, touchback, fumble at the 10-yard line on the wrong side of the field. It's going to muck that over up. One of these, look, Dallas can put up 40 every time they play at home. Every single time. Can we count on Arizona to put up 14? 40 plus 14 is 54.
Should be able to.
They should. But they are Arizona, and they have not gotten out of their own bloody way. I mean, they could fumble twice in the red zone. On top of that, if Dallas is holding the ball to score 40 times, Arizona might get the ball less. Conversely, if Arizona puts up 31 points, they're going to hold the ball all game. And Dallas is going to be struggling to find ball control. So to me, if you're going to bet, say, 4% of your bankroll on the over, I would prefer you take 2% of the bankroll and bet the over 23.5 for Arizona and the over 27.5 for Dallas. That is how I'm attacking the total.
Yeah, I think it's a great way to attack that total because we know Dak can come out nice and strong. And if Jacoby Brissett's able to get to some of his targets out there, we should see those points come on. Now, if Jacoby Brissett's moving the ball nicely, who are the main targets out there that you would circle tonight if people are looking to throw in some props, Prez?
So I'm not a Mr. Prop guy, Joe. I actually took a stab at prop bets and I was horrible at them. And, ultimately, I think if you're not studying props like Andy Lang studies props, like the mustache Thomas Viola studies props, if you're not studying props all day long, you're just throwing shit at the wall, right? Like, it's like, is CD Lamb the guy that's going to get over 80 yards tonight? Or is it Pickens? Or maybe it's both. Or maybe they run the ball all night long. Nobody told me the game plan. Like, nobody called me. Nobody said it was
good.
Yeah. So prop betting, you got to be an expert in. Otherwise, you're just, is this the day that Fitzgerald, how old am I? That Harrison Jr., gets 2 touchdowns. I don't know.
It could be. Marvin Harrison Jr. has been strong out there. I looked at Zay Jones to come out nice and strong. He's been getting those targets from Jacoby Brissett. He has a low receiving prop. I believe it's 21.5.
Yeah, so I'm glad you mentioned Zay. Because if I'm going to bet props, and I do bet props time to time, I try to bet those secondary I don't want CD Lamb. I don't want Harrison Jr. I want that, that one catch, like fullback, one catch over a half. Give me that, give me like, the third tight end on an anytime touchdown plus 2,000, because the third tight end, he could get a touchdown. There's only going to be maybe 4 scored by each team. Let's say, give or take 3.5, 4, who knows who they're going to throw it to. So I'd rather look at those type of bets, Joe. Now, Jacoby Brissett over 1.5 touchdowns, passing touchdowns, was the only prop that jumped out at me. I think Dak is going to do that as well, but it's just better odds to get Jacoby Brissett over 1.5. That's the only prop bet that really was of interest to me.
Yeah, it's a nice one there for him over the 1.5. I did look at Zay Jones for the long shot for the anytime tutty. I know you don't like those long shot touchdowns.
Well,
either.
I'd rather you do a long shot. If you're going to do an anytime touchdown, it's got to be a long shot. You like to sit there and take, CeeDee Lamb anytime touchdown. You do that every single Dallas game this year, you lose money.
Absolutely.
Guaranteed.
So how do you think this one plays out for the Cowboys? I know that no one's given you the phone call, but Dak, he still should be passing this ball, right? Because you look at his secondary, it's a mess. I don't see the secondary turning around like the Steelers did. But again, I didn't expect that.
Well, listen, Arizona's defense is not bad, Joe. Yeah. And they got to be super frustrated because they've kept their team in. Just before Bill Sandoval writes, and this is very interesting. If I could just put it up on the screen. Marvin Harrison is plus 125 to score a touchdown. So that would mean that out of the 17 games, Marvin Harrison would need to score a touchdown in how many of those games to justify a plus 125? It is a horrible bet. Horrible mathematical bet. That does not mean he won't score a touchdown tonight under any circumstances. I'd much rather do what Jay is talking about and take, Marvin Harrison going over 8 receptions and 150 yards. I think that you could factor that kind of stuff into your handicapping. Whether Marvin Harrison is the guy to score the touchdowns.
We will see. We'll see who comes out.
As far as the game goes, I like Dallas here, Joe. I like Dallas. I don't think I would not take them on the money line at minus 176. I think if you go back and you do the math on every game that ends up -3, minus 110 versus making that same bet at minus 176, I think you'll find that the better bet by far is -3, minus 110. So I'm not keen on the money line with Dallas, but I like Dallas here, Joe. And I like Dallas because, Philadelphia hasn't looked the same as they did last year. Washington is a complete mess. The New York Giants are out of it. Dallas has to come into this game thinking that they can make the playoffs. They can win this division. It's there for them. They have put together some outstanding games, and they are playing at home. And Dallas at home is a different team than Dallas on the road. As far as Arizona goes, why should we believe that this team has got their act together? For the record, since 2015, teams coming off of a bye are 48% ATS. It is not a winning bet. Everybody talks about it as a winning proposition because they're coming off of a bye. That is not the case. Actually, teams playing before the bye is a really strong bet, not after the bye. So I don't care about the bye.
Yeah.
I mean, I look at this Arizona team and I'm like, okay, they got a decent defense. They lost their running back. They don't have a quarterback. They got one wide receiver. They can't get out of their own way. They have figured every possible way to lose games. Why would I bet them? It would just make it. I need somebody give me a reason why you would bet Arizona.
I've got no reason at all to back the Arizona Cardinals in this situation. Not at all. I think Dallas is the right way to go. So there are 3s out there. You guys make sure you shop those lines. Hard Rock has a 3. Their 3.5s are starting to go across the board. Bet365 still has a 3 as well, but the rest of the books I am seeing, other than Pinnacle, 3.5. So shop those lines over there. So Prez taking both team totals to the over. Love that you're going to go there.
Look at that, Joe. Look at your fans there. Looking stunning as usual.
Thank you, Stan.
Yeah. I just look at this. Don't tell. Hey, Andy.
Are you done?
Hi, Andy.
I love running
Hello.
this board. I love Andy. I can't wait for Wager Talk today, tomorrow. Me and you, baby. I'm so excited.
Love it. Love it. Love it. I was just just watching you fawning over a comment in the comment section about Joe. You're so easily distracted. It's just like any
Me?
shiny
Of course,
object.
I'm
Yeah,
easily
a shiny
distracted,
object.
dude.
Just a
I'm
comment.
literally holding my pen. I have ADHD to begin with. The Leaf game has already started. Yes, so I am extremely distracted, but I just wanted to bring you on.
Thank
There
you,
you
Stan. Thank you, Stan. I am looking dashing as always, as usual.
Yeah,
Thank you very much, Stan.
absolutely. Look at
And
those
bringing
two.
all the compliments here. I love it. Prez.
Guys, check out Wager Talk today, tomorrow. Andy hosts that show every day, noon Eastern. I am on it with Jesse Schul, Brian Power. It is the best day to watch Wager Talk today for sure. Love you guys. Joe, bless you. Andy, I'm going to remove myself. Thank you, everyone.
Prez. Thank you, Prez. You guys, that was the Prez. We got all of his bets. It's Andy Lang. I'm so glad he just brought you in like that. It's time to talk some props. I know you're coming with these props tonight. This is going to be an interesting one. Where are you going first?
Well, there's the Cowboys defense is always a good fade. This is something that we've been doing for client plays. I'm stunned at this Jacoby Brissett passing number. It's 239.5. He's gone over this easily in his two starts, 320 against the Colts, 279 against Green Bay, and those are really, really good defenses compared to this Cowboys defense. I have a lot of questions about my Colts secondary, but, Green Bay's good, and this is the team that when Jacoby Brissett has played, I don't know why he looks so rejuvenated. I don't know why he's looking, I can't say better than Kyler Murray because that just feels wrong. But
I think you can.
Steve
I
Merrill,
really think you can. Right? Like he is looking better than Kyler Murray.
he's kind of looking better. I like the way Steve Merrill said it. He's like, you can't say he's looked worse. You absolutely cannot say that.
Politically correct way Steve Merrill coming with. I like it.
Yeah. So I'm looking at that one. And then I want to focus in on these rush attempts. I don't want to look at the rush yards. I want to look at these rush attempts for Zonovan Knight. And what I'm really liking here is actually that how bad Michael Carter was last week. Michael Carter had 7 carries for 11 yards. Absolutely no efficiency whatsoever. And Zonovan Knight had 14 carries. So I want to look at his rush attempts going over the total here. You can grab 11.5, a little bit of juice. There's 12.5s out there. They're going to depend on a running back. It's going to be Zonovan Knight. So I would expect Brissett to throw the ball a lot when they're handing it off. It's going to Zonovan. And if I'm also looking at running backs, something that's kind of been interesting to me is Javonte Williams and the lack of production coming out of the passing game, because this was something that, he was pretty good at in Denver. And they've got his receptions total at 2.5. And he's had 1 the last 2 weeks. He's not getting the targets. He's not getting the production. And last week, the Cowboys completed passes to 8 different receivers, and only 2 of them had more than 2 catches. And of course, that was Pickens and Lamb. So they're spreading the ball out quite a bit, and Javonte's just not involved in there. So maybe he gets 1 and he breaks a long one. That's why I don't want to take the yards, but I don't see him catching 3 passes tonight.
Oh, I like that because the under 2.5 is plus money as well. You guys are getting that right now on the majority of the books between plus 110 and plus 115. So great plus money there. Are you taking anyone for those tutties tonight?
Trey McBride is so obvious. I don't want to take it.
Yeah.
It's
Exactly.
just like, all right, it's just like, it's minus money, 3 touchdowns when Brissett is quarterback. That's all been, documented. So I don't want to come on here and, give out an obvious one. I'll throw out a big plus money one, and I'll go with Zay Flowers. He started to be involved. It started to be involved a little bit more. Maybe he gets there. And I know I just dogged Michael Carter, but we saw it in the Buffalo game where like James Cook gets him down, and then all of a sudden Ty Johnson comes in and runs it in. What if Zonovan puts a bunch of work in, gets a long run, gets tackled on the 1, he's tired, and they bring in Michael Carter for the 1-yard run? I could see that. So if you're looking to sprinkle some long shots, I think Zay Flowers and Michael Carter could be some pretty good ones. Zay Jones, not Zay Flowers. Yeah. Sorry, guys. Zay Jones. I would love to say it's the first time I've done that. I mix up the Zays like every single
Zay.
time.
Let's
It's
go
Zay
with Zay,
Jones.
right?
Yeah, yeah. Listen, that would be a long shot if Zay Flowers had a touchdown tonight,
So imagine, I
considering
wonder
he's
what the
not.
books would even give you on that. I love where you're going. I'm not sure what Big Sis Lisa's talking about. I'm not dating a gecko. I'm really glad. Dating a talking gecko. I'm really glad as well, Big Sis Lisa. That's a weird out of right field comment. What about Ferguson here? We know there's a couple people throwing out Ferguson for the Cowboys. We know that Arizona has struggled against that tight end position. Ferguson coming off a bad week. Could he have a nice bounce back here?
Yeah, you don't want to overreact to 1 week. It happens. You always love a pretty good bounce back spot. I'm not going to get there because I'm a little worried that this is a huge Pickens and Lamb game. I don't know how you play Ferguson because they really haven't marked down his props quite a bit. Like his receptions total is still pretty good. What is it? Yeah, 5.5. 5.5. That's a lot of catches, and the yards haven't come down. I think Ferguson props are stayaways.
Okay. So what would you do if you wanted to target CD Lamb here? Like you look at him for that anytime touchdown. It's just so juicy. Are you ever in the market where you're looking at 2+ touchdowns for a quarterback or for a wide receiver like this when we know Dak Prescott can get those points up on the board at home? Like, is CD Lamb worth a look for two?
You got to have like the perfect situation to
Yeah.
bet 2 touchdowns. I've done it once this year, and it hit. It was Jonathan Taylor to score 2 against the Titans, and it was just like a no sweat. But it's got to be like a no brainer, and I certainly wouldn't. I certainly wouldn't take it on a wide receiver. Running backs to me are kind of the only ones that you would think would have a real chance to get there, at least a predictable chance. Could he get there? Of course he could, but I don't. It's not going to get my money. That prop is not going to get my money. If you want to, if you really want to take him, take his longest reception. That's 24.5. He's been really, really good on this one. I think the only game that he didn't go over that total was against the Bears. I mean, this is a guy that had 29-yarder at Denver. That's a good defense. 74 yards against Washington, and he had a couple 30-yard catches at Philly and Giants. So if you're looking at a big play, CeeDee Lamb could absolutely do it.
I love where you're going to go with that longest reception. We know Dak will have to air this ball out a couple times at least because that defense, man, the Cowboys definitely need some help. We'll see what they're able to do in tonight's game. Andy, you got anything else for us?
Yeah. Listen, NBA. I keep pounding this desk that NBA props is one of the best ways to build a bankroll. So I'll give you guys a sneaker. You got Luka Doncic and Austin Reeves out. Look at some of these props in the Lakers game. And there's a guy who keeps popping up early, and he's been cashing his props. And his name is Jake LaRavia. Look at his points over. He's going to be starting. This guy scored 25 points, played over 30 minutes last night, and that was with Luka and Austin Reeves in the lineup. That was off the bench. Now he's in the starting role. I'm not sure the books have totally cut on that. You can play his points. You can play his rebounds. There's a real sneaky one for a late NBA game.
Ooh, I love it, that late night action. Okay, so everyone can catch you on Wager Talk today. That runs 5 days a week, Monday through Friday. What time is it? Can you remind everyone?
Yeah, it's noon Eastern, 9 a.m. Pacific tomorrow. We got a great lineup with Prez. We got Brian Power. Just going to be a loaded show. Every day is really good. We did a big breakdown on the fixed UFC fight that happened over the weekend. That was on today's show. So me and Yanni talk about that and talk about kind of the inner workings and the behind the scenes of what went on there. So it's a great show. Absolutely fantastic. Join us tomorrow.
Fantastic. And Andy, I know you've got so many great picks up for sale over on wagertalk.com. What can they expect when they come over to grab your picks?
Props, and more props. This is how I build bankrolls. I've been doing this for years. We only have one prop in tonight's game that's still available. We have a couple of NBA props, but those games have already started. But we do run a really, really good package. And this is available any day you guys want to get it. It's 7 days. You get NBA and NHL props. And we really suggest getting 7 days. It's only $69. You get 2 sports. You get all these props. We get about 2 or 3 per night, depending on how many games there are. We really like 7 days because, you get one package. You like our chances to profit. We don't really know, one night. But you give me 7 days, gives you a chance to see our write-ups, how we come back to certain players, some of the bounce-back spots that we take advantage of. So get 7 days of props. Give us a try if you haven't.
Yeah, head on over, you guys, WagerTalk.com. Andy, thank you so much for being here today. Best of luck on WagerTalk today, tomorrow. Crush the books tonight.
Thanks, Jo. Have a great night.
Thank you. You guys, that was Andy Lang coming at you with all those prop bets that you don't want to miss out on. If you did miss the Prez, he did come in with those team totals out there for the Arizona Cardinals and the Dallas Cowboys, taking both of their team totals to the over. He also was interested in Jacoby Brissett over the 1.5 passing touchdowns because of the great value. Now, if you guys are looking for all of the best bets, make sure you do head on over to WagerTalk.com. So many great specials running over there. So the guys had their say. I want to give you kind of what I went into these games, what I was able to bet earlier. I don't think there's been much movement in any of these lines, but I'm going to make sure I pull it up to give you the current lines on these guys. So Marvin Harrison Jr., I do think he gets in the end zone. I'm with Prez, so you're not getting much great value. It is plus 135 now. I think Jake Ferguson has every ability to get in the end zone as well. I just don't trust the Arizona Cardinals defensively straight up the middle. And I think that's where Jake Ferguson is going to get those looks. I do think that you look at Zay Jones. I love what we've seen out of Zay Jones, and his touchdown prop has gone up. Like I was saying with the Prez, it was plus 450 earlier in the day when I got it. It's now plus 500 for Zay Jones to get that anytime tutty. Now, it is a long shot, you guys. He's yet to get a touchdown on the season. So you're really stepping out on a limb if you think he can get it done. When we look at the receiving props out there, that's where I'm going to circle Zay Jones again. So Zay Jones coming in for the receiving yards, it's actually dropped. I got 21.5. I'm seeing 20.5s out there. There's a 19.5 as well. So Zay Jones over the lowest number you can get, of course, for his receiving yards. But don't forget, the last couple of weeks, he's really been a strong target for Jacoby Brissett out there. We've seen him be able to put those yards up on the board. Now, I know a lot of you want to look at Trey McBride, and I understand why. Trey McBride has got those looks from Jacoby Brissett as well, but I don't want to take a number that's sitting at 68.5. It's so high for those receiving yards. And if Dallas's defense can do even a little bit more, we could see Jacoby Brissett spread the ball out, because you look at all his different targets out there. You got Marvin Harrison Jr., who's rolling in at a 58.5. You got Trey McBride at 68.5. I think Zay Jones is going to get those looks. His is 20.5. And then you've got Wilson out there at 27.5. I just think, looking at McBride, if you really like him, then you got to look at him for a ladder, right? Like if you like a 68.5, that's where I start to ladder those props, because I do think that star player has to get more than just that base number. So I'm going to stay off it, but I don't blame anyone who does. You're going to get great plus money. I do think Zay Jones could be the player who really does go off in this game. He's just had a couple of games where he's put up such big numbers. Now, when I look at the quarterback props there, I'm not loving the numbers. I think they are pretty right on. You know, Dax is so high at 267.5, but we know he can get 300 yards here at home, especially when he has to compensate for the lack of defense, especially in the secondary by the Dallas Cowboys. And then Jacoby Brissett, 238.5. If Dallas gets up big, you're going to have to see those long bombs. So I love where Andy was saying, looking at those longest passes by either the quarterbacks or the longest receptions by those players out there. I think a really solid way to go. But end of the day, you guys, I'm sitting there with Prez. I do think the Dallas Cowboys win this, and they win it and cover that spread. So get the 3 out there. If you're liking the Dallas Cowboys, like me. Again, if you like the Arizona Cardinals, find the 3.5, you guys. You want to have that 3.5 and not a 3 if you're with Arizona. But I will go with the Dallas Cowboys laying the 3 points in this game. As for the total, I love where Prez went, breaking down both of those team totals to the over. The team I have the most faith in, of course, is the Dallas Cowboys. I'll take their team total. 27.5 is that number. I got it earlier at minus 111. I'm seeing it minus 120 now. So that has gone up. But you guys, that is what I'm liking out there. I see Ferguson for J 40.5 to the bank. I do think Ferguson can come out strong in this game. I like the over as well. I'm seeing all of your comments dropping in the chat. I really appreciate each and every one of you. Let me know where you're going to be watching this game tonight. If you're watching Monday Night Football out of the pub, at a friend's house, or if you're just hanging on the couch watching yourself, I appreciate each and every one of you for being here. And Jay, yeah, you look at that, Cardinals 28th in yards allowed to the tight end position. And that's why I think Ferguson is going to go up. I almost called him Fergie. So, and Zay over. Props. Yeah, I'm going to be there. But you guys, I appreciate each and every single one of you for being here on Wager Talk Last Call Primetime Preview. Make sure you do join me on Thursday. Man, we got the Denver Broncos taking on the Las Vegas Raiders, AFC West divisional matchup. We know the Broncos, they've been rolling, so we'll see what they're able to do versus the Raiders. We'll see if there's any big trades coming as well. But you guys, all the best in all of your bets. Hit that like, hit that subscribe button over here on Wager Talk, and we will see you on Thursday at 7 p.m. Eastern. We'll see you then, guys.